Get your employer to pay you to build your own business until you can escape the 9 to 5. Literally use your 9 to 5 to fund your dreams, because that's exactly what I did. I just got my old employer to literally pay me to be at a job where most of the time I was working on myself. And yes, it's a bit controversial, it's a bit spicy, and to all the corporate conforming sheep boffins, they'll be going, you can't do that, that's naughty. You're there to fulfill a job and you should not be taking advantage of your employer. Well, look, the world isn't fair and I wanted out ASAP. So to mitigate the financial risk and stress and strain of building that business in the early stage, get your employer to pay you to actually fund the entire thing until you can leave and fire your boss. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm going to teach you all of my tips, tricks and hacks and little sneaky secrets on how I did that. And we're going to pop up now some of the things that I did. I've given them like a little quirky title. So let's just read them all out and then we'll dive into them. So number 1 is coffee break CEO. This is like the short 5-10 minute breaks, you know, fag breaks, this kind of stuff. Get on your phone, do your invoicing, do your emailing, do your social scheduling, do your personal brand building, all this kind of stuff that you can do on your phone. Go out with the smokers. This always makes me laugh. You know, smokers seem to be able to have their full hour of a break, or 15 minutes, half hour, and then another 15 minutes. And then they get all these little 5-10 minute fag breaks, you know. Go out with them and say it's a cookie break, because smokers seem to be able to get away with everything. And when you do these little 5-10 minute bursts of breaks, get as much as you can done on your phone, because that might rack up to an extra 45 minutes a day. Across the week, you might be doing an extra 4 or 5 hours into your business. Number 2, absolutely love this one, did this all the time, bathroom, boardroom. So go into the toilet maybe 3 times a day, up to 10-15 minutes. You might be having a number 2. You might be a bit constipated. This is all legit. No one's going to come in and stick their head under and be like, what's taking you so long? Well, I had a Ruby Murray the night before, do you want to leave me alone? I would go to the toilet, and look, let's face it, when that door's shut in the toilet, you could just have a bad stomach. But 9 times out of 10, I was always on my phone doing things, working towards my business, right? Number 3, canteen clock-in hack. If you are going to arrive early, clock in, get paid for it, double bubble, use the company Wi-Fi, open up your own laptop or use your phone and start working on your business. A little 15-minute burst of getting the things that you need to get done, whatever that might be. And then if you are staying at the end of your shift, again, another cheeky 15 minutes, that might rack up to, again, another 3-4 hours across the week. And now you can see you're working towards like another 6, 7, 8, 9 hours already that is going into your business whilst you're being paid from it. You're already away from your family, so it's kind of, it doesn't matter anyway. And you're in the ideal situation where you've got Wi-Fi, you've probably got printers, you've got access to all different things in the workplace, and no one's really going to question you because you're early for work and you're staying a little bit later. And if anyone asks questions, just give them some old cock and ball or whatever it might be. And then there is inbox camouflage. I like this one. I used to do it all the time. You know, we all get a lot of company emails, right, when you're working a job. Most of it's just rubbish. Schedule as much as you can. So like pre-prep your answers. I used to do this every single day. So I would come in, I would look at my emails, I would draft what I need to, and then I would just have those sitting in the drafts. And then any specific numbers that might change per day, I would put them in last minute. What that does by going through my inbox is that I've scheduled everything, I've drafted everything, and I can send it at the very last minute. Therefore, I buy myself time to work on my stuff rather than throughout the day sitting there composing all these emails and not being bothered to do it. So try and find again those little pockets. Now, I believe what we're on, 1, 2, 3, 4, number 5, break time empire. When you go to have your hour or half an hour, don't go across the road or go shopping or whatever, or go wasting time, you know, walking about with your work colleagues. Take yourself off somewhere into a separate room, into the canteen, or go into your car, personal hotspot, open up your laptop and spend, you know, if you've got an hour, spend a good 45 minutes just working on the business. You know, again, doing whatever, admin tasks, social, personal branding, structuring, workflow, you know, lead generation, you know, whatever business you're in, and then 15 minutes to eat your lunch. Utilize those hours, because again, you're adding an extra potentially 4 or 5 hours every single week. And then collectively, you could be working towards extra 10 hours whilst you're being paid. You have no financial risk. We're not even talking about the extra hours that you should be doing at home, but you're just racking up all these great hours on your business. Again, it really depends how badly you want to get out the 9 to 5. I did all of this, right? Email autopilot. So again, going back to any kind of emails that you do in the workplace, if you can schedule, and I mean schedule, if you know what you're going to say, so this isn't necessarily the same as putting in certain numbers that you need to throughout the day. If you have emails that you send every day, which are the same reports, this is cheeky, it's juicy, it's spicy, it's also a little bit naughty. But if you are saying the same thing, use the scheduler on the emails. Type the same thing up and schedule it to send out at the certain time that it needs to. Or send the email immediately, depending on the task that needs doing. So again, it's just a great way to leverage time so you haven't got to faff about with it later on in the day. Company Wi-Fi advantage. So one thing you will do is you might have to download stuff. You might have to stream stuff as a business owner, especially modern age. You might have to do any type of marketing, and that might need, a quick Wi-Fi, or you are, I don't know, whatever you need Wi-Fi for. If at home your Wi-Fi doesn't stream or download as quick, but the company, being a big corporate company or wherever you work, probably has a very strong Wi-Fi connection, utilize that to do all your downloading, your transferring, whatever it might be, uploading of some sort. Again, this all sounds a bit naughty, but you can do it. You just have to do it discreetly. I mean, this video is literally going to be an employer's nightmare. And I guarantee in the comments, there'll be someone that's saying, this is so bad that a guy is showing and teaching how you can actually use these little things to get out the 9 to 5. Well, the world is not fair, and people are fed up of employers not valuing their staff. And some people want to get out and they want to have freedom. It is what it is. Resource borrower. I've done this many a times. Don't tell anyone. Using printers, using highlighters, using clipboards, using staples, a staple gun, just using all different types of stuff that a company will probably have in their office or in a cupboard. If you need it, just borrow it. Again, you have to keep it hush hush. Everything I'm telling you, of course, you're going to have to be discreet. The things that you are learning, you're going to have to keep it on the quiet. But a company will probably have a lot of things that you don't have at home. Borrow them. It's a long-term IOU. Analytics parasite. Use company data to actually get the information that you need to maybe build your business. Now, this personally wasn't for me, but if you are going into a very similar industry, or you have found a big problem solved within the workplace that you work in, and the business that you want to build is in the same industry, this is naughty, but you have insight to company information of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Take all the good, learn from all the bad, and never do all the ugly. You have the information probably in your laptop to go, this is what works, this is the data, this is how much it costs, these are the margins, and you can use that to propel and leverage your business into success. It is a cheeky one, but it's what you can use. Now, the next one is template theft. VSOPS, processes, workflow structure, health and safety, formats, or just general templates. Companies, a lot of them that are well established, have processes. They have VSOPs or SOPs in general, right? You can use those. Now, to run a successful business, you do need automation, processes. If you bring someone into the business, they're going to need to follow a standardized format of working. Most companies have very good sort of standard templates and ways of working. You can utilize that and basically copy, because success leaves blueprints. You're probably staring at all the blueprints of the company that you're working in. You can take all of that and implement it into your own business. Again, it's all a little bit naughty, but is what it is. Meeting multitasker. I like this one because I used to do this a lot. Have you ever been invited onto a Zoom meeting where you've just got to sit there like this? Say the camera is the Zoom meeting, right? If you're working at home or in the office, open up your laptop, have your works laptop there. Yeah, Aaron, what do you think of that? I couldn't agree more. Yeah, hi mate, can we get 2 more orders of that? Metrics, company, I know, it's gutting, so sad when we didn't hit those numbers. Let's make the next quarter really, really good. Hi mate, can I just, I'll order 2, and then can we just make sure we're following up with the customer on that one? Aaron, who are you talking to? No one. So, leave it with me. No worries. New project? Great, I'll give that to Adrian or Jose. Okay, great. Aaron, are you listening? Yeah, I'm all here. Let me just send this email. What email are you sending, Aaron, to my supplier? That report that you wanted. You get my gist, right? I'm taking the mick there. But literally that is what I did. If there were any meetings where I didn't really have to engage or talk too much, of course I'd be utilising that time. Because I don't know if you've ever done this before. We used to do this a lot. If you were in a meeting like that, you can ask one question to the person who's hosting. But if the person who's hosting loves to talk, that might buy you an extra 15 minutes because they'll just carry on talking. You'd be like, Jesus, I haven't finished this. So Sean, So could you just go over again, mate, that change in what we need to do? Can you just go over it from A to B? Sorry, mate, just so I can take some notes here. I'm going to be looking at my laptop just so I can take some notes, or I'm just going to write them down. Yeah, not a problem, Aaron. Yeah, great, thanks. And there I was, away again. So there's so many ways that you can build your business whilst being paid. Just so many ways. I was very lucky that people left me alone. I don't know where you work, but people just didn't really bother me. So I was constantly able just to build all the time. I just utilised every moment. But I wanted out of my 9 to 5 ASAP. I didn't want to wait until I was 40, 50. I didn't want to take any chance. I was just willing to make so many sacrifices for the short term, knowing that I could get out because I was competent to get out, and I just needed time. And when you don't have rich parents and you don't have things given to you, there's two things you have to put into yourself: time and energy. And those are two things I was absolutely willing and totally dedicated. And the best way for me to do that, coming from no money, is I did need to keep my job, but I also needed to build within my job. And not only that, I worked outside of my job. I worked the weekends, I worked bank holidays, I worked late at night, I worked early in the morning. So I was racking up, you know, this additional 20, 25 hours, potentially 30 every week working on myself. I was trying to make that exchange of time in favour of me and my family, opposed to 40 hours or 50 hours to an employer with very little in return, and then wasting the remaining 40 hours that I've got at home, you know, on just average normal things that, you know, society does. Sitting there binging Netflix, going out, spending all your money at the weekend. I was into none of that. The deeper message is I want you to have freedom. Like, I'm 32, I have freedom. I'm going to go to the gym after this. I've just come off the radio. I'm then going to go for some lunch. I have all the time in the world now, and I love it. And I love just being able to sit here and record a YouTube video, which literally this morning I was like, I'll film a YouTube video. I've been thinking about doing this topic. I'm just going to put it out there. Spent 10 minutes making some notes. I've delivered it all to you in a 15, 20-minute video, whatever this is. You can do this too. I am not the most intelligent person. I certainly didn't do well in academics. You know, I walked away with PE, a GCSE in PE. That's it. I didn't get anything else. You just have to start and apply and be disciplined. And it's never too late. However old you are right now watching me, it's never too late. As you get older, it just means that your runway is a little bit shorter. So you need to take off quicker because you have to be more calculated, and you need more thrust, and you just need that extra horsepower. You need that extra oomph and that momentum. So it's never too late. And I really hope, you know, take the funny side of this out. And yes, it's a little bit controversial in the sense that you're using an employer and them paying you to build your own business. Well, I think all of you can agree life is not fair. And if working hard made you rich, the donkey would own the farm. And I don't want any of you to be the donkey, because the donkey doesn't own the farm. The donkey is still pulling the heavy load. So, and I wasn't prepared to do that. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comments. What did you take away? Have you also used any of, you know, these little techniques? What do you call them? My favorite one is the bathroom boardroom. I was sitting there this morning going through some quirky names, and the bathroom boardroom was like a reality for me. I've spent a lot of time in the bathroom doing all my business stuff. And there's been a couple of times where people have said, Aaron, how long are you going to be? Because I'd have a radio on me. How long are you going to be? Yeah, I'll be out in a minute. Sorry, mate. Had the hot chicken tikka dance sack last night, mate. Won't be long. So yeah. But anyway, until next time, I hope you did enjoy this. Please do hit like and subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you all soon. Peace out.